Well, what's up everybody, back here on Willamina Forest today. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers. You can see there we're just 7 away now as I'm recording this. And we're pretty much picking up right where we left off last time on Willamina Forest. In fact, this is the screenshot that I took for the last video. I just left the logs right there in the grapple. So we'll finish offloading this truck and then we'll get busy with probably another load or two. We'll see. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine is actually still going as we record here. This is Saturday morning for me. I don't normally record on Saturday mornings. This is a little bit odd, but whatever works, I guess. I don't really know a whole lot today. I just haven't really got anything new. Wood Meadow Farms released their tow truck pack, but I haven't even had a chance to test it out yet. Whoa. I was trying to get that one log off of there and I caused chaos. Let's see. Throw that over there. In case you're interested, I did update bare rock logging seasons with the log rack, so you can now, just like this, pretty much load your logs onto the rack instead of just onto the ground and sell them. Keeps them from rolling everywhere. I haven't really even tested that. In the next video that you'll see probably on Wednesday, I'll probably be back on bare rock logging seasons in the snow, and we'll test out that log rack and see how it works. I bet it works pretty good. Somebody commented, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or if it was somewhere else, but somebody commented about how smooth I am with the dual joysticks, and that's just practice, practice, practice. I have spent, I probably don't even want to know how many hours on this game, and if you want to see something funny, go back and watch, probably it's going to be my Farming Simulator 17. I wasn't using the dual joysticks in 15. Of course, I'm not sure if there may be just a few little videos on 15 of what I did, anything on 15. But if you go back to Farming Simulator 17 videos and you find, well, I'm not even sure which video it's going to be, but it'll be the ones where I'll start using the FDR track machines, the fellow bunchers and loaders and stuff. that'll be where the dual joysticks come in. And I didn't have the setup I have right now. I had a much older joystick that didn't have many of the functions these two I have now do. And I had a used, I bought a used, I don't even remember what it was, joystick on eBay for like 12 bucks or something. And it lasted a pretty good while, but it eventually went out too, so I had to replace them both. And so what I've got now is I've actually got two different brands and two different models. I've got the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, which I use for my right joystick, and it's a nice joystick. I've had it quite a while, and it works pretty good. But the other joystick I have is a Thrustmaster T16000M, and the cool thing about that is with this Thrustmaster joystick, you can make it be either right-handed or left-handed, and that's kind of why I got it, so I could use it as my left joystick. And at the time, also the reason I didn't want to go with just two of the same thing was at the time I was playing Gold Rush, and they didn't support two of the same joystick. So if you had one Thrustmaster and one Logitech, it would work, but if you had two Logitechs of the same model, I don't think it worked. So that's not really the reason, but it was part of the reason why I don't have two of the same. Plus I would have gotten another Logitech, this 3D Extreme or whatever it is, but it's I guess you could use it left-handed, but it's not really the best setup. And then when I saw this Thrustmaster that you could change the little grips around and stuff to make it left-handed, I was like, that's it right there. That's the one I need, and I'm glad I got it too, because it sure is a nice joystick. In fact, I'd like to get another one, but I don't really have a need for it right now, because like I said, it's a really good joystick. Okay, we're gonna see how much wood we can gather up here. I'm just going all the way back to the fellow buncher so I can just kind of get them out of the way. Okay, oh, one thing I do need to mention, or just this is sort of like FYI, you see these tracks on the FDR machines, how flat they are, they don't look 3D. I was watching one of FDR's videos the other day, and he says the reason he's using these instead of the 3D tracks is that TerraTrack script came out here, I don't know, a month or two ago, and a lot of folks I've seen are using it. But he says he always asks for permission from the modder who makes it to use it, and he says he has not gotten permission or hasn't figured out who to ask or something. So he's not doing that. Plus, he says he would have to test it to make sure that it doesn't going to cause any issues, because they are a bit more graphic intense, I guess. Alright, the winch turned on. Let's get these trees up out of here. You know, FDR doesn't have to do that. I mean, he could just use the TerraTrack script and do whatever he wants with it, I suppose. But it is pretty cool of him to actually try to ask permission to use it, instead of just assuming that he's got permission. Now, you would think that if the modder puts it out there publicly, then anybody can use it and all that, which is sort of my opinion. But, you know, it is a good gesture to, you know, try to ask permission, just to be on the safe side. I would say that FDR probably needs to do that, since he is, well, you know, he's not, you don't have to pay for his mods, but he does have quite a few Patreon supporters and stuff, and so in a way, he's sort of getting paid for doing what he does. So it's good that he asks for permission. That tree got turned around. Let me grab this one. The cool thing about this dozer skidder thing is that it'll haul a bunch of wood. That's kind of mostly why I'm using it. I've got that John Deere, I think it's a 548 G3, or it's different, maybe it's a different model. Oh, I guess I didn't even activate it. Oh well. You probably saw it if you watched. Let's see. I'm starting to use it now in the plantation series, but you haven't seen that yet. I'm not sure if I used it over there on Bear Rock or not. Anyway, it's a John Deere cable skidder. I believe it's the 548 G3. I could be wrong. It could be 540 or something like that. I can't remember the model numbers. But it's a really cool skidder. Now, the only thing about it is the biggest trees, the spruce stage 5 and the pine stage 5, I think, it only haul like 4 of them. It won't do much. Let's see, I've got some cleaning up to do here. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna chip them things up. I don't have time to worry about all that. There's not much here anyway. We'll just chip them up, be done with it. Alright, one thing I do want to do is we're getting pretty low on fuel here in the little cat dozer skidder thing, so I do have let's see, where's it going to be at? Probably under miscellaneous here. Yeah, there it is. I got this little fuel trailer, which I used pretty heavily in Farming Simulator 17. So, let's see. Probably going to need a work truck or something. Yeah, I guess we'll just use the good old Lizard. I haven't had much luck with the pickup trucks in 19 or 17 either. Well, I can't say that. I guess I did have a couple of good trucks in 17, but here in 19 I just cannot find a I cannot find a good pickup truck that doesn't have errors. I always go black on black. I'm gonna do something different here. That looks silly. Why can't you do chrome? Come on, Giants. That's better. Wow, that weighed it down pretty heavy. No, I guess not. Maybe I'll find me a good pickup truck one of these days that doesn't have errors and crap in it. It's always find these nice trucks and get them downloaded and put them in the game and check the error log, and there's always something wrong with them. Every single time. Thought I hit the right button. So if you're watching and you have a good, like maybe a good big old dually truck or a big Chevy or Ford, like a heavy duty type work truck, if you know something like that that's error free, send me a or leave me a comment with where I can find it, because I haven't been able to find one yet. Like I said, every time I try to download a pickup truck on 19 so far, with maybe the exception of one, I'll have to, well, I don't have any in here, so I'm not sure. Anyway, they've always got errors, so I never mess with them much. Man, we need like a fast fuel option. This is taking forever. Alright, we'll wait on that to get finished. Let's go ahead and process a little bit when we're waiting on that. Yeah, we shouldn't be too much further now as you're watching this video from 1,000 subscribers. I've been getting probably on average, it seems like 2 or 3, maybe even more than that, subscribers a day. So I suspect by probably the end of the week, this week, we'll be at 1,000. And as soon as that happens, I'm gonna let it get maybe 1,005 or so, you know, just a little, be a little safe, maybe even 1,010 before I submit my application or whatever to get my videos monetized again. Because what you have to do is you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and I believe it's 4,000 watch minutes in the past year or something, I think, you know, whatever it is. I've got that by a long shot. Thanks to you guys watching the videos all the time. But you have to have 1,000 subscribers at the time of when you submit it. And I was reading that if you submit it and if your numbers fall, then that's fine as long as you're still uploading videos. They don't care about that. It's just you have to, when you submit it, have to have 1,000 subscribers. I'm gonna let it get just a little bit over 1,000, just in case somebody drops out or YouTube does one of their, you know, massive cleanups where they're removing inactive accounts and things like that, you know, just to be safe. But it takes a month after I submit it. So like, let's say that, you know, August, let's see, what's Friday? August the 9th, that I'm at 1,000, and I submit it that day, then it could be as long as September the 9th before they actually approve me, because once you submit it, it goes into a queue, and your channel has to be reviewed by a human So it's just wherever you fall in that queue of you know, channels to be reviewed. That's when they do it. It's like they don't take priority for anybody, anything like that. It's just, you know, whoever gets whatever place I'm in the queue. It's just whenever they get to it, they get to it. But you know, I don't have to worry about this. But I heard that if you've like got cussing or something like that in the first minute of your video, then you know you're automatically rejected and that sort of thing. You don't have to worry about that. But just so they manually review it. I mean, it's a human sitting there watching your video, looking at your content. They look at how many videos you got, what kind of content you're putting up there. You know, it's pretty intense. It sounds like. I'll be fine though, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not worried about anything. I just got to get to 1,000 and a little over, and then I'll submit it, and I should have my videos monetized again. Probably, my guess is sometime mid-September. I could be surprised and it happened a little sooner than that, but I'm guessing mid-September probably. And that was it. Okay, so let's get this area cleaned up. I'm kind of getting used to the fast run. I like the fast run. My forester guy, or my loggers, they're marathon or Olympic sprinters. So there you go. They've been working out, training hard for the Olympics, doing logging in the meantime. Let's see, I wonder, well, let's see, let's get on back here. Look at the diesel up there. Let's see where I'm going. Now, is the truck squatting at all? No, okay. See, that's fast. Why can't it be that fast when you fill up the tank? Let's see, how we doing on fuel here? We're alright there. Loader should be about the same. A little less. And let's see, let's check out the, let's see, is that, oh yeah, okay, that's that one. So I've actually got another one. There it is. Oh, we're doing pretty good on fuel there too. Okay. Alright, well, let's just get this truck out of the way. And then we'll get busy with some more, skidding up some more logs and gonna process. We'll try to get one more load out here. I'm not for sure if we'll have time, but we'll see what we can do. Oh yeah, so one more bit of news. I was doing some testing last night with the very latest version of Courseplay, and I was working on, oh yeah, the plantation. Okay, so you may see some a little bit of strangeness whenever the plantation, the next high-speed logging or high gear clear comes out, because I downloaded the global company mod, which there is what's called a more trees script in there, which will allow you to, it overrides the giant's max number of trees on the map, and it allows you to go ahead and plant more trees. And so I I was planting some trees, and I had the course play mod in there because I was wanting to test it out. And I was working for quite a while planting trees in that field, you know, that was already cut over. And I had escaped to go do something else, and my game locked up. It would just sit there spinning on the save, so it never did save, and it's got to be course play because I took course play out and then went back into the game and played for a while, redid all I just did, and it worked fine. It saved perfectly. So unfortunately, I think course play is going to be a bust. I hate that because I always like to use that to you know, to drive my trucks to the sawmill and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I think that's not going to happen anymore, but we'll see. Maybe, I don't know, I'll keep testing and see if maybe a different version that comes out in here sometime will work better, but for right now, I think course play is going to be done. So I'm trying to get some of these trees bunched up so I can skid them a little better. That's the wrong end. There's another tree over here somewhere. Oh well. Just get these three. These trees never want to cooperate very well. The tips of these things get hung up on the terrain and they just don't act like they're supposed to. I think my number one or possibly number two wish for Farming Simulator is if they could figure out how to make at least the top third of these trees be more flexible, I guess is a good word. I don't know if it'll ever happen because of the game engine and just the way the physics work and all that, but sure would be nice if somebody could figure that out. You know, I knew that winches on dozers and stuff was a thing, I mean, obviously, but I wasn't quite sure if it was used very much in forestry. But I was watching Axeman the other day, and I don't watch Logger Wade on here. He's a little bit, well, just the style of forestry he does, for one thing, just wasn't really kind of what I was into, because I'm not, you know, from up there where he is, but so it's a lot different down here. But they were using a little dozer with a winch on it to get the trees up to the landing. Thought that was pretty cool. Down here where I'm from in the south, about the only thing we use dozers for really is just, you know, clearing off roads and maybe the landings and stuff, getting them prepped for, you know, the loaders and processors and whatever. We don't really use dozers and winches and all that stuff. For one thing, it's just the terrain's not here for us. It's pretty flat here in Louisiana. North Louisiana's got some hills, but you know, nothing really terrible, steep or anything. In fact, if you're a fan of Cotton Top 3, if you watch his videos on YouTube, that's pretty much what you'll see around here in North Louisiana as well. Although, a lot of times what you'll see is instead of the tracked processor and loader, you'll have a trailer mounted, you know, either probably most likely what you'll see is Tiger Cat or possibly Caterpillar. More likely you'll see Apprentice trailer mounted loader with a delimber and a little, basically just like a little chainsaw thing, you know, the arm that comes down like you see on the processor from FDR or whatever. That'll be mounted on a little separate, well, on the end of the trailer. There'll be like a little pull through delimber thing. In fact, if you really want to see that, go look up Thomas Johnson Logging on YouTube, and you'll find tons of great videos on just that. He uses, well, in the latest videos, he's only been using one. He's got two Tiger Cat, I think they're 234Bs, I believe is what the model number. Trailer mounted loaders with a pull through delimiter and of course the cut-off saw on there. He does some really cool videos. He's got drones that he'll put up, and his video editing's pretty cool, so he's got some pretty neat videos if you want to see that sort of style of logging. Unfortunately, I haven't had much of a chance to work on my next map yet, or lately, I guess I should say. I've been busy trying to get the Bear Rock seasons done and all the little updates to the normal Bear Rock, which I guess I really could have all rolled that all into one, but anyway, I decided to keep it separate. Not that it really matters, because seasons will work with any map. It's just you won't have some of the features of the seasons mod itself, because I think with, if you do farming, I believe what the seasons does is it allows bales of grass or hay or something. It makes them rot unless they're like in a building or something, storage shed, because what the snow mask is for seasons is you kind of paint that on in areas where you don't want snow to be. So it would make sense that, if you've got a bale of grass or hay or whatever out there in the field somewhere, it's going to get snowed on, it's going to get rained on, all that stuff, and seasons sort of does all that, and it makes the bales rot. But if you've got them stored in the building, they're not going to do that, which is, if the map maker did it correctly, then those inside those buildings should have the snow mask, which means it's not going to get snow in there, or seasons. Alright, let's see if I can grab these as well. Sort of get all this little area cleaned up. Just gonna drive out here a good ways and get everything turned around. It was too tight there to get that turned around. You sort of got to do like a 180-degree turn too to make them trees act right. starting to look a lot better. Okay, we got a few there. I tell you what, here's what I want to do. I want to go back in the fella buncher. Yeah, right there. And we sort of made it to the shop last time, but I don't think we cut all the way to it. So real quick, what I want to do is I'm going to come just along the left edge of this sort of cliff face here. Let's cut just a few more trees real quick. I wish FDR would figure out how to make the cab level. You know, you can change the tilt of the cab. I don't think it does it. No, I don't think so. No. Seems like maybe though on one of his machines on 17, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I want to say he may have done that on 17 on one of the machines or something, but could have been somebody else's machine. Oh yeah, let's see. I don't think I activated it either. FDR did put out a new track machine. Let me see if I've got it in here. No, I guess I don't. Okay. Well, it's the let's see. Is it the Hitachi? I want to say. It looks just about like the John Deere 20. Whatever it is. Anyway, go to fdrlogin.com and check out the FS19 equipment page, and you'll see it. I don't remember what model number it was, but Hitachi something, Z240 or something other like that. I don't know. I'm not too good with model numbers unless it's Tiger Cat. I keep up with their stuff pretty close. I used to keep up with Caterpillar pretty close too, but haven't really stayed in touch with all their model numbers and stuff. When I was in high school, next door to my best friend, we had a guy that worked for Caterpillar over in another town, and he would always let us come over and hang out and look at all the spec sheets and stuff. And time or two went over to either the Caterpillar place or some job that he knew was going on, that, you know, looking at machines and dozers and stuff. One really cool job was there was a guy that had, like, I think it was four big Caterpillar, I think D8 dozers that had the a big V blade on it. And what they were doing was, after a logging crew had left out of there, they'd come in there and do windrows, which is basically you take the big V blade and, you know, you create kind of like cornfields or something, big rows, and you push up the dirt and the roots and whatever was left over from the logging job. And the timber companies like that because the trees, when you plant the trees on top of those rows, they grow a lot better because they're up out of the you know, the any standing water. You got all the nutrients from the stuff that was pushed up there that's going to decompose and provide nutrients. And anyway, they hire this guy to come in with these 4 dozers, and we went out there. They weren't working; they were done for the day. But we went out there and played around on the machines. I still got some pictures somewhere, but it was pretty cool. Some big old machines. Even those D8s, you know, there's like, what, D11s now, but those D8s are really big. They were the I think they were the D8N, and I want to say the N was a little bigger or something than just the regular D8. But anyway, when I was in forestry, we actually took a forestry machines class, where we were learning about all the different types of machines and what they could do and all that stuff. And we went over to Caterpillar, and I didn't know that this was going to happen, but, you know, the forestry professor, I guess, knew him or knew of him or something, or contacted Caterpillar and wanted us to come look or whatever. But anyway, we went out there, and this guy showed us around, and he asked if there was any questions, and he looked at me and he said, "Jonathan, you don't have any questions?" And I was like, "No." He said, "Oh, you must have been reading all them spec sheets I had." But anyway, it's pretty cool. I don't even remember what we looked at. Seems like maybe it was a Caterpillar harvester or forwarder or something. It was. I remember it being that because it was something that you don't normally see, and because around here, the forwarder and harvester thing just, I don't know. I guess it just hasn't really took off, but because there's not really much terrain, and when you can just skid the logs up to the deck and have a trailer mounted or even a track loader, you know, process the trees, there's no really advantage to having a harvester go out and make all these little piles that you then got to go pick up with a forwarder. So it just really hasn't taken off around here. And I don't really think you'll find forwarders and harvesters too much in the south. I just don't really see it happening. Okay, I'm not going to cut every tree along this road because we'll just say that, you know, the road department or whatever owns the road, and we don't really own the road, or the timber company or whatever, and they don't want all the trees cut on the sides of the road, so I'm just going to leave about every other tree that's right next to the road. So I'm really glad that I found or not really found, but I realized, I guess I should say realized, that the more trees script was in the global company mod, because I didn't really even know that was a thing until I started watching. I believe it was Farmer Klein was doing a video review of the global company mod, and he said it was in there, and it was already out as a script. I didn't know that, but there's not really a whole lot I don't know. So those of you that comment that say, hey, FDR's released a new machine, or this or that mod's out, or whatever, there's like a probably 90% chance that I've already either got it in my mods folder or I know about it. Okay, so I'm not trying to, you know, be ugly or anything, that, you know, don't contact me because I already know about it kind of thing, but just realize that if it's FDR related, I'm a Patreon supporter of FDR, so I know about when these mods are coming out and what's coming before you do, most likely, unless you're also a Patreon. But most of the mods that are, you know, forestry related or have anything to do that could help out with the gameplay of forestry, most likely I'm already going to know about it. So I'm not saying don't stop, you know, leaving comments, but just know that most likely I've already got it figured out and know about it. But I do appreciate everybody leaving comments. I enjoy reading the comments and enjoy getting comments, because it makes me feel like you guys are actually watching the videos and you know, liking the content and wanting to talk. And you know, I kind of got away from doing live streams, but what I'm going to do, I think, is when I get this 4X map finished, which hopefully will be in the next month or two, it may be October before I can, I don't know. It's crazy. This thing is huge. And you know me, I just don't like to make something generic looking. It's got to be detailed and nice and all that, so that's why it's taking so long. But it's seriously like doing 2 maps. It's so big. But I'm getting there. But once I finish the 4X map, I'm probably going to, you know, depending on how the income and all that stuff goes, I'm probably going to just start doing some live streams, so, you know, the fans and stuff can come and we can chat and play some different series and stuff. And maybe, this is a big maybe, but once I get my videos monetized again and start getting some income rolling in, which that could take a while too, because you know, YouTube doesn't pay you until you get to $100. You have to have $100 in your account, and then they'll write a check and send it to you or whatever. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take. Last time it took 2 years. I started my channel, well, I guess not long after, well, about that, well, I guess, a little bit longer than what it is now. I guess it was about July, mid-July, something like that, I think, of 2015, I think it was. You know, it took 2 years just about for me to get paid from YouTube. So we'll see how fast it goes this time. But anyway, I think what I was getting at was it's possible, and like I said, a big maybe, that I might do a multiplayer server somewhere down the road, and we can get us a little crew together and make some videos. It'll be a lot of fun, because we'll have the 4X map, see, to play on. And really, that's multiplayer. That's not anything that a single player could expect to accomplish in a short amount of time, because I have played on a 4X login map, and it's like you cut half of a normal map down and it looks like you hadn't done anything on a 4X. It's that big, so it's ridiculously crazy to try to cut any amount of timber off of a 4X map and make it look like it's really done some damage, you know. Like on the plantation, I'm starting to get some damage done. I've cut over 3,000 trees, and it's starting to look a little bare in some spots. That's why I'm planting some of those trees. Alright, everybody, well, the time is slipping away from us, and we're just about need to shut it down for this episode, but I appreciate you watching, and I'm hoping by the time this week is over, we'll be at 1,000, and I'll try to get my channel submitted, to be reviewed, and we'll go from there. But hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on Wednesday. So have a good one till then.